Hi, my name is Peter. I'm 22 years old, and for the past 8 years, I've been living on the road and off the grid with my family, documenting our journey on our YouTube, The Epic Family Road Trip. Today, I'm sharing my adventures on my own channel, The Adventure Guys. My dream is to show you the remote places of the world by land, air, and sea, and to one day buy some land and build a homestead. All right, so I'm in the boat, and what I really wanted to work on today, or just get started in here, was some dehumidification, because short of when I'm here and have the thing open and there's fresh air flowing in, it's pretty stagnant air, and the last week or two has been pretty much like solid rain and just really humid, like typical summertime weather. But with the boat completely closed up, I mean, some stuff almost felt wet to the touch. Even though, what I didn't know is my parents, before they left, had put in a little like dehumidifier of some kind, and it's full of water. I bought another one, these just dry airs, just to help suck some of the moisture out of the air, and then got a bunch of replacement beads. So I'm going to just do that for now, and have like 2 or 3 of these guys, one up front, one in the middle, one in the back. Just hopefully sucking some of the moisture out of the air, keeping all the wood dry and good. Just especially now while it's so wet and rainy. So there's that. I bought some teak wood oil to help, you know, with the finish on teak and protect it. And I'll be doing that. I don't even know if the wood in here is teak, but it should help to get rid of some of that, like where a bit of water damage is on the wood. On most of the wood in general, it's been sitting, you know, I mean, since the thing was built, it's been fairly well maintained. I'm actually really happy with how most of the interior wood is, but just kind of spruce it up a little bit. And then for exterior wood and on the outside of my door, I bought a good like urethane, some kind of like finish, like a shellac of sorts that's made for outside, enduring a lot of weather. And it's just like a satin finish to help protect it. Once I've got it coated with that oil and treated, or like sand it, treat it with that teak oil, and then coat it and like almost seal the wood with this urethane, or urethane coating. I'll do that on, like I said, the exterior stuff, especially on the door, and then on the tiller. The tiller is old, and I'm actually kind of happy about that because it'll be fun to fix up. So right now I'm gonna get these dehumidifiers going, kind of straighten some stuff up. So yeah, I'm gonna start working on this boat more and more as the days go by. Right now my key focus is preserving the quality, the current state of the boat on the inside, sprucing it up a little bit, and then getting it just ready, like tidy and ready to be put in the water. But my next one, and something I've been thinking a lot on, is how to make it more livable. Because I do have a sink, I've got a head, I've got a bed, but as far as like power goes, I've got one little boat battery. And that's something, I mean, we've done a decent bit with off-grid living, and then with the Jeeps is getting battery systems set up. But I currently, it's quite an expensive endeavor. So we've got these portable power banks. Like we have a DJI, I think it's their new DJI 1000 power bank. I've got a Jackery 2000, but yeah, the Jackery 2000 is kind of at the island. It's got a purpose there. And then I've got a Goal Zero, like 500 or 750. And I'm definitely going to use the DJI to start, because it's also got portable solar panels that I can put up and down to charge the thing. And I actually bought these guys, because there is like 1 or 2 lights in here, but just some strip lighting I thought would be a good idea, because they barely take any power. I'm not too interested in multiple color function, but just for lighting in, like, I'm more thinking up towards the V-berth, like just put 2 strip lights, or one under right behind me here. A strip light would probably be really cool, and on the other side, just to give a bit more lighting, at least a temporary solution would be that, and then just wire them down. I'll have to see what the wiring is. Really, that'll determine whether I use it or not, because I don't want wires dangling everywhere. But if I can snug them up to little places and get them plugged into that power bank, and then use that as like at night before bed, I can power that stuff on. And then I'm mostly going to be keeping the battery for fans. I almost set it to start, because just thinking about sleeping in here with this humidity would be pretty rough without a fan of some sort, circulating air, a fan or two. So that brings me to the third thing, and the final thing I'm going to really worry about right now. But that is the port above me has a circulation fan, but it is dead, according to the previous owner. It's just not working. So on Amazon, there's a lot of like, $70, $80 circulation fans that are made to be on boats with little solar panels. But apparently a lot of people have trouble with them, they don't like them, and then some people really do. So for me right now, that's definitely within the budget. If it does its job effectively and can just power itself for however long, even if it only lasts 6 months, like one season, for $70 of circulating my boat, it sounds like a pretty good deal. So that'll probably be the other thing I'm looking at. But if you guys have any suggestions on power and circulation, like ventilation, I'm definitely open to that, because I have a great idea with power. I'd love to throw in a whole bunch of Battleborn batteries, get a bunch of lithiums in here, and use either Victron or Red Arc to manage them and get some good solar panels on this boat, which is definitely future plans, is to do all that. Because then you could live in here. I could even get a Starlink, and then I could fully go for months and upload and do everything I need to, work from the water, and that'd be a dream come true. But with my current budget, that's a little bit outside of that. So we'll look at what I can work out with batteries in the future, but temporary solutions, power banks maybe, like what I was thinking. Generator potentially, like a little Honda 2000. And yeah, I'll leave it to you guys. Maybe, what do you guys think? So I'll set this guy up right here, kind of in the middle of the boat. And then once I get these moved out, I'll get another little one up front. So I got this one drained and with some replacement dehumidifying beads. I've got that one in the middle, which should be good for the front, especially now that those cushions are out of the way. I'm going to get this one probably on this shelf, because this is where I've seen that there was at least some water at some point came in. The owner said that he had done a repair up top, is whatever this foot of steel or aluminum is coming down, attaching something on the deck. It was kind of open and rain could just barely come through. It's not at least too big of a concern for me right now to get in and replace, but it will be something I'll probably add some Sikaflex up there, just seal it a bit more to ensure that no water's coming in. But at the very least, it seems like an area that gathers some moisture, so I'm going to set this up right behind me. Have that section for dehumidification. Get both sails on one side. Not bad. It's at least a little more clean. Yeah, to start, I think I'm going to take the table and the tiller. We're going to head back to the shop on the island, sand down some of the wood carefully, and apply that teak stain and seal it, and bring it back here. Can't wait to not have all this stuff laying out. As soon as I can get the boat in the water and the mast is up, it's going to be so much easier to walk in and out of. So this is that teak oil I was talking about. So sealer, preserver, and a finish for marine teak, and all fine wood. So I guess that answers my own questions. I should have read it. It's for all fine wood. I assume this is fine wood. I think it'll do the trick. This exterior stuff here is really gray. I'll show you. So this is what I'm talking about, wanting to sand down, get that teak into teak oil, and then probably put that shellac, the urethane sealant on it, so it'll keep it mostly waterproof and definitely protect a little more. That, and then do the door, because I was showing one of my cousins this boat, and I went to open up the door to walk inside with him, and as I was lifting up on this one, it's a little bit jammed in place, and the wood just cracked. So I was just explaining how it was a great find, and it's in good condition and everything, and then the door starts snapping apart when I'm trying to just walk into it. So it's kind of funny, but no big deal. It's kind of like wet wood. That door slot has obviously seen better days. So I'm gonna take it back probably tomorrow, tonight, depending on how fast I can do the 2 tillers and all that stuff. Give it a sand, and I might stain it instead of paint it, and then again put that urethane coating on it, so then it's not like this white paint. It's more like the wood look throughout most of the boat, as much of the boat as I can do, like a really nice finish. Almost like one of my dream boats, a bigger boat for ocean crossings and stuff in the future, would be the Tiana 37. That's a beautiful boat, and a lot of it is teak, and when people really maintain it, it's beautiful. I mean, it looks like an old ship from the 1600, or looks like an old ship from 1700s and stuff. So I like the wood look a bit more than white and stuff when I can help it. So I've got tiller here, table there, and I threw the cushions off, so I think we're good to go. I'm just gonna close up the boat and head across the lake. Hey puppy, hey puppy. Smell your treats, huh? Let this foam sit out in the sun, so you know how long it's been sitting there. Get all these and wash. Got the first load in there. 63 minutes from now, it should be clean, and we'll hang them up to dry. Well, that's nice. First step in making the boat livable. It's already on its way to being finished. In about 2 hours, both loads will be done. 63-minute load per. Let's give them a big heavy wash and then see how they smell and look after that. So laundry finished. It's been over an hour, but I noticed they still kind of had that smell. It just lingered. The soap didn't fully kill it. And I think it's because this laundry machine we have is very convenient at a cabin, especially when you're off-grid, but it is an off-grid. It's a washer that's designed for being off-grid, so it's highly efficient energy-wise, and it's quite small. So these little covers fill more than half of the space. So I kind of squeezed in the two, and I think that caused them not to wash as good as they could. And this washer machine, like I said, is highly efficient and off-grid, so it's not exactly industrial strength, or even probably the same as the ones you guys have at home. So a smaller load, I'll do one at a time, roughly half the time as well. I'll do like a 35-minute wash and extra tumble. So I'll be doing that well into dark, and I'll just hang them up to dry, so we'll see in the morning just how well they turn out. But I was also going to be working on my wood tonight. Chores around the house really take up all my time. It's funny because you don't quite realize how much there actually is to do around a place until you're the only one doing it. Because both Dan and I have places to look after, but the main house here, it's quite a chore, you know, maintaining gardens, doing laundry, aside from just cleaning everything, especially when you're a little bit absent-minded like Dan and I, and you're walking around in your shoes all day inside, you're constantly sweeping, and we cook a lot, and all the food Dan and I have been making is full meals. Like, we're not doing any craft dinner or ramen. We're trying to break the stereotype of just two young guys on their own and actually cook kind of gourmet. At least for us, it feels quite gourmet, but that requires a ton of dishes and a ton of time actually in preparation. So to all the mothers and fathers who do this stuff every day and maintain houses and make it really nice for your families, I have a better understanding of what that takes and a greater appreciation for it all, because just planning 3 meals a day and cooking them and cleaning up afterwards is a lot of time. It takes a lot out of your day, and that's not even to mention going shopping for everything. And yeah, it's actually really fun. It's a great experience for Dan and I, and Mom and Dad, we miss you guys, but we're learning a lot while you're gone, and I think it's good for us in the long run. So all that being said, that is my excuse for why I'm not working on wood right now. I'm maintaining a household. So I'm going to get back to laundry. the chicken's gonna be in the oven for a good hour and 15 minutes. I'm doing first 10 minutes at 450 and then an hour 15 at 350. So we'll see how it goes. I was following someone's recipe and kind of just riffed off of it. We have a lot of fresh herbs here and I added a few more, and I didn't have white wine, so I actually added like a splash of bourbon in as like the liquid that goes in the plate. Just a splash of bourbon with a healthy amount of water. And then what I forgot to film was putting salt and pepper on. I just put like a dash of salt over the veggies, like the onions and garlic that were on the side, and then cracked pepper over the whole top of it, and then threw it in there. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out. This chicken is super nice stuff. We got it from the delivery that my parents picked up earlier this summer. It's really nice organic chicken. So I look forward to tasting this, and I really hope that it turns out well and is a tasty meal. It's definitely gonna more than fill us tonight. We're probably gonna be eating at like 12:30. So we'll have a nice bite of chicken tonight, both Dan and I, and then I'll save all the leftover chicken for meals tomorrow, like salads or in soups and other stuff that we make. So see you guys in an hour. Wow. It's funny because the chicken really actually looks good. So with the chicken done, I also just grabbed some of the drippings. I poured a majority of the drippings out into this pan, and then added just a dash of flour. Thicken it up a little, and I'll heat it up over this frying pan and make some gravy. Just a simple gravy from the chicken drippings.
What kind of sauce is that?
It's gravy from the drippings.
Wow, it's actually heavenly.
I was thinking of rotisserie chicken and then made this meal because I wanted to replicate it.
Yeah.
Tastes kind of better.
Yeah, it's insane.
As Dan said, and as I'm discovering right now, the chicken is actually really good. So it turned out well, which is awesome. It's like a rotisserie chicken from the store, but you make it yourself. You know that the chicken's really good. It's all fresh herbs right out of our garden. Bunch of butter, and you've got a really good meal. So. Alright, so I'm finally sitting down to do this. I've got my Big Boat's tiller handle right here. As you can see, it's pretty rough, like it's obviously weathered. So it's a good time to be doing this. Got the teak oil, and then I actually, when I was looking around for a brush and stuff, I found this Armacote Spar Varnish Clear Finish, which is for marine and outdoor use. And it seems like the proper stuff. I mean, it's got a wooden boat on the cover. It's got kind of that look, and I think the varnish might actually be better than the urethane or whatever I had. But I'm gonna test a bit of this. I'll probably do this covered in this actually, and then on a different piece of wood I might just test the urethane, like maybe on my tiller handle for the laser. I'll sand it, put the teak oil on it, let it sit, and then test urethane on at least half of it, see what it turns out to be, and then who knows, from there at least I'll have a better idea of what's good. But this seems like a great option. It's also got a glossy finish, which looks kind of good, and I mean, we'll see how it looks when this is done. Well, it's looking a lot better. Just got the rough sand done. I'll start hand sanding this thing, get it a lot smoother, a lot nicer, and get all the spots I couldn't get with the big machine. So I got the oil stain all on there. It does look nice. Help give back some of the color that the wood would have had. But it's just a basic wood, it's nothing fancy, it's definitely not teak. So this is probably as good as it's going to get. I'll let this soak and dry for an hour while I work on the other stuff. And then I'll put that varnish clear coat on to dry overnight and take it back to the boat. So this is the screen that goes in the port at the front of my boat. And as you can see, it ripped here. So that's something I'll just use duct tape for now. Tape over just to like attach it, or I'll try to find some sort of clear tape so it's not too ugly, but just get it bug proof again. And I'll lightly sand the sides of this, get them clean and scuffed, and then apply some more of that teak oil just to freshen it up. As I finished staining the screen, the last load of laundry finished. With that, all the cushion covers are washed and hanging to dry. It's been an hour, and I can now apply the varnish to my tiller. Somewhere along the line there, my camera just decided to shut off, but tiller has got its first coat of varnish on there. It actually looks really nice. The teak oil just brought out the natural color of whatever kind of wood that was, and the varnish is going to seal it. It'll hopefully seal all the cracks and make it stronger, and of course waterproof and all that, which is nice. So it's in a lot better condition than it was when I brought it over here. Same goes for the screen. I just did a really light sand, as you guys saw, kind of briefly sanded it and then gave it a wipe down with the oil. I'm going to probably put some more teak oil on here and then do varnish before dark and then tape the screen. So right now I'm going to run down and grab the tiller to my laser, and with this one I'm going to do basically the same thing. It's just a repeat process, so I'll definitely speed it up, but sand it down, get it cleaned up and nice. But this time, instead of the varnish, I'm going to try that urethane since I already bought it. It's this little guy here. So Helmsman Outdoor Spar Urethane Clear Gloss. This little guy. So I don't really know the difference between varnish and urethane, besides the name. But we'll see how it looks, see what it does. Can't hurt it. It's in pretty much the same kind of condition as my big boat's tiller was. which is just rough shape. But I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm making some egg salad with the chicken. Just a no carb meal. Egg salad's delicious. The chicken was amazing. I figure put them together and you've got two good foods going. Kind of in the same boat as the other tiller. I'm loving this teak oil. It's a quick sand and easy application of that stuff, and really brings the beauty out of the wood, brings life right back into it. So yeah, I'll let this dry for a bit and then test out the urethane on it. We'll see it tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'd say quite a bit better than when I first pulled it off the sailboat. Well, it's got me excited to see what it all looks like tomorrow morning. Urethane, varnish, to me they both look the same right now. They kind of applied a little different. Varnish was definitely more sticky. And then I got a matte, like semi-gloss urethane. So of course it's a little bit less glossy, but all I can tell is that tiller handle on the laser is leagues better than what it was before. Instead of just being gray dull wood, turned out to be kind of a reddish wood, almost like it was made of cedar or something. And it really pops now with the teak oil and that urethane on there. So yeah, I'm excited to see what turns out. I'm going to do some research tonight, and then tomorrow on the boat there's some wood trim on the rear by like above the transom on the deck of my sailboat that's pretty worn out, so I'll take a hand sander over there, sand that stuff down, get some teak oil on, and then I guess once my research has provided me with some more clarity as to whether varnish or urethane is a better option for a boat, I'll either put varnish or urethane on it, seal it up, and make it last a lot longer as well as look better. So yeah, hope everyone has a good night. I'm gonna get to bed a lot earlier than yesterday. Making the chicken turned out to be like 1 a.m. dinner time, so I'm gonna get an early sleep tonight.